Let's see. So I'm live. It's been a while. I think I'm saying this like every time I stream, but it's true. I think the last time I streamed was like it's been a while. Let's see. Let's check. The last time that I've streamed was 8 days ago. Okay, let me tell you, there has been a lot happen. A lot happens. The last 8 days. That was over a week now. But yeah, a lot happened, and I'm about to get a job soon. I don't know when, but I have to go away for like a few months to get a training. So that's exciting. So which means I can no longer stream at the time, like during the time that I'm gonna train for my job. But other than that, I don't think there's any other update. Like if I have any like interesting update about my job, I will make a video or two about my job, but I don't have a job right now, so let's just say that. But the purpose of today's stream, because recently, like for the days that I've been away, there's been a video that's been blowing up for better or for good and bad reviews. And I want to check it out for myself because I don't know. Well, regarding the internet sometimes can be very, like, can be skewed very heavily towards the negative sides. I think mainly I want to check like both sides of the story, or I would like to like know where they're coming from first. And there are some takes that I find very weird, yes, but I would like to see the video whole so that I can judge it for myself. And yeah, that's the purpose of today's stream. I don't think there's anything else other than when I finish like reacting to it, there's an update on the video, or there's an update on the situations, because I think they have a follow-up video. It's only like a 9 minutes long video, so I think it should be quick. I should link the channel in the descriptions. Let me just do that real quick, because I am like, let's see, stream setting. Let's see. Oh, game. Okay, let's put it here. So let's see, video. By this person. Oh, wrong person. Let's see. Why am I sweating? I accidentally like pressed something, so that's why I'm sweating. But it is pretty hot today, no? Let's see. This is the name of the person that we're going to watch today. Let's paste it in. There we go. So I did credit them already, so that's good. Now let me just fix my expressions. Let's see. Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on. Oh god. I really should like keep the name of the emotes. I look like a mess right now. Okay, let me open up VTube Studio real quick. Let's see, how do I turn off sweats? Confuse eyes. Eyes, if you turn off eyes, that's N4. Okay. Confuse. Confuse, loading. I think this eye is confused, so N3. Are my eyes normal again? I don't know. Okay, my eyes is lifeless. Okay, how do you change lifeless eyes? Tats, loading. And I'm angry as well. Huh. You know what? You know what's the better way? Poop. Wait me a minute. Wait me a minute. I'm still here. Hold on. I just need to boot up VTube Studio again. I wish there was a default button that you can set up to like get rid of all of the expression. I think that you can set it up, but I don't know how, so let's just do this. No, the expression is still there. No. I'm still very nervous. I mean, for me, I usually don't want to talk about dramas as much, but this is a pretty serious situation, so I think it's a good time to like talk about it and discuss. Let's see, confused. So N3. No. Okay, that's N5. Okay, that's laughter. That's angry. That's heart. That's sparkly. That's doesn't have anything. How do you? Oh no. Okay, that's sweat. Okay, I've turned off sweats. I just need my pupils. How can you change? Or how can you turn on my pupils? Nervous, sparkling, heart, confused. Eyes OO, face shadow, surprise, laugh, angry, loading. Wait, where's my pupil? Can I do this? Oh, nope. That just turned me on to default. Okay. I mean, emotionless expression is good for this video specifically. So, without further ado, let's turn to this one. And let's do this. That should do it. And I need to make sure there is a audio. So let's do this. Let's do audio capture for this. Beta 4. Okay. And let's turn off the BGM for now. There we go. And now, let's react. Oh yeah, this is the follow-up video, so let's watch this first. The infamous.
Before we begin, please be aware
is the audio
that
present?
this video contains very heavy spoilers for Genshin Impact up to version 6.4, also known as Luna 5, the current game version as of recording. So if you clicked on this video and haven't played up through these quests yet, and you are still interested in doing so, please watch this at your own risk. Also, I would like
to... Okay, hold on. Let me fix my model a bit. My model is... My eyes are not working. Why is my eyes not working? Eh? Hello? There we go. Why am I loading? What's happening today? Okay. I guess I deserve this because I did go away for a few days. M9. There we go. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. There we go. Now, let's do this. Shall we? We shall.
to say that while I play Genshin frequently, I'm certainly not a lore expert. It's also worth pointing out that Genshin lore only gets more confusing and convoluted as time goes on, so that might factor in as well. I might get stuff wrong. You can feel free to correct me about anything in the comments, but I will do my best. Let me just start by saying that Genshin Impact is one of my favorite games. I know that there's a lot to be said about Genshin and that Genshin fans are kind of a meme. There's a lot of valid critiques to be thrown Genshin's way. For example, like many gacha games, they use a very predatory business model, and Hoyoverse...
Wait, because of the videos are quite long, let's speed things up a bit. Let's watch it from 1.15.
makes millions of dollars off of FOMO and by fostering people's gambling addictions. And I would argue Genshin is actually worse than a lot of other Hoyo games too, because it's not as generous. From my understanding, other games from this company have made up for a lot of Genshin's greed by giving away more free characters and by making it easier to obtain materials to level them up. Meanwhile, Genshin refuses to adapt even after over 5 years of updates.
This is true. I've seen, yeah, I don't know why, the reason why they haven't like changed it yet. I mean, they have been changing it because whenever a new update or a new banner comes up, there's going to be limited time for the whole domain to be open for limited time, I think for like 15 days since the banner release. But other than that, I think it's good that they've done it. Like we all know the reason that people like why they do it. Like only opening certain domains or certain books for a specific day because they want players to go into the game like every single day. So that's why, but time is changing. As we all know, time is changing, time is always changing. So it's good to change. Uh, for the lack of better words. They need to change up their way a little bit. So they have been doing that. But yeah, it's an ongoing issue. Yeah.
The resin cap is still only at 200 with no resin overflow system, and the weapon and talent ascension materials are still only available for a few days each week, which is an outdated system that serves absolutely no purpose. But, despite all of those flaws, Genshin kind of stole my heart in the beginning. I had never played a game like this before, meaning a gacha game. I didn't know how the pity system worked, I did a 10 pull whenever I had fates, and I didn't save them at all because I wasn't keeping up with any upcoming banners or anything. And I would spend my Primo Gems equally on both Intertwined and Acquaint Fates because that seemed like the financially responsible thing to do. I shudder to think about it even now. But when I first started back in—
Wait, what? Oh, you spent for both standard and limited banner? Okay.
in October of 2020, during Klee's first ever banner, none of that mattered, because Genshin was pretty magical early on. Not only was it special because back then, you really didn't have to worry about power creep, you could pretty much build any character you wanted if you liked them, but there was this feeling of newness that came with starting out in 1.0. This open world was laid out before you with two beautifully designed nations. The music was, and still is, so gorgeous and immersive. Playing with headphones and just listening to the soundtrack while running around with your favorite characters was so lovely. There were little puzzles to solve and stories to tell, all backdropped by a beautiful landscape. The story told by the Archon quests was relatively simple, but the characters were interesting and so lovable that they gave the quests life in their own way. And then there were events like the first Lantern Rite and the first Windbloom. Don't get me wrong, I think there have been some really good Lantern Rites in recent years. The one featuring Gaming comes to mind, but I really don't think that the sheer innocent joy that came with these events early on will ever be matched in the future. And plus I think that Genshin has kind of forgotten about Windbloom. But like, the cutscenes were so beautiful, getting to see what all of these characters in Liyue and Mondstadt were up to during these times of year. I mean, that cutscene of all the characters walking around Mondstadt together spawned so much shipping, and I was absolutely there for it, just like everybody else was. Following this, we had Inazuma, Sumeru, and Fontaine, again all beautiful nations with so much potential for exploration. They encourage you to look in every nook and cranny. There's so much lore to be found that you might never see it all unless you peruse the Genshin Wiki. One of my favorite examples of all of the records and notes you can find are about Ildodore, and they're scattered throughout Sumeru. Just discovering how immensely evil he was made me so excited to see what they would do with a villain like that in this story. And we will get to that. But even if the story occasionally got dull, and I know a lot of people struggled with Inazuma, believe me, I have problems with it too, I know I could always count on seeing a character I liked. When Inazuma was boring me to death in the middle, or when it was busy underdeveloping Raiden A, I could at least maybe see Kazuha sometimes, who is still one of my favorite characters in the game to this day.
I mean, okay, I know that I've only been watching, but it is true that Genshin is kind of like it brings a lot of memories and it brings a lot of like experience. Wait, what? What is this video? Okay. Okay, we'll get to that later. But yeah. But he's right now. I don't have any I don't have any other thing to say right now. The only thing for like Inazuma brings a whole entirely different like experience comparing to like Monster or Leeway. Monster or Leeway definitely is like typically our starting point, so that brings a lot of nostalgia. But like for Inazuma, it's the first nation that like genuinely makes you feel like anxious. That's the first thought when I think of Inazuma. And I think that's pretty interesting. But for the under development for A, I don't know at the time. I don't know because at the time I've I haven't like played the game at the time because I joined the game when it released version 2.8, which 2.8 was such a good version, and I'm very glad that like at the time I was finishing up high school, so that's why I have the time to like delve into like a game that I like really want to play for a while. So yeah, that's all for Inazuma. So let's continue with the video and let's see what's the hype all about for this video.
A gacha game relies on its characters like almost no other type of game does. If you want people to pull for them, they have to appeal. And most of them did. They had beautiful designs and interesting personalities that sealed the deal. So yes, Genshin is one of my favorite games. But I'm also its biggest hater. And I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, so this is where the videos start. This is where the meat starts, right?
You're
As
just
they say.
nostalgic. That's the only reason you think it was better back then. But I have proof. I mean, why else would I make a whole video essay on an unestablished YouTube channel if I didn't have proof? So, was Genshin always this weird and bad? No, it wasn't. And let me tell you why. So, when we talk about bad Genshin, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Natlan. In case you're unfamiliar, Genshin bases its nations on real-world cultures, in terms of visual inspiration, the names of the characters, and the nation's customs. Mondstadt is based largely on Germany, Liyue on China, Inazuma on Japan, and so on. Natlan, similarly to Sumeru, is based on multiple real-world cultures, including Mesoamerican societies, Polynesian cultures, and the cultures of African peoples. It's hard to pin down what they were thinking when they picked out all of these places, each so different to represent just one nation in the game. I'm certainly not the person to listen to on if this is bad representation, but I will say I do find it odd that the regions based on parts of the world where historically many black and brown people have lived are a mishmash of many different cultures, and that the characters are whitewashed versions of these people. It just gives me pause, to say the least. For many other reasons too, Natlan was understandably poorly received by fans, at least in the United States. I'm not really sure how other parts of the world reacted to it. It's easy to see why though, because it's the same reasons that I didn't like Natlan. The landscapes are fine, but aesthetically, a lot of Natlan doesn't mesh well with existing aesthetics of the game. And one of the major problems people had was the characters' access to modern technology and concepts like motorcycles, flying guns, rollerblades, and DJ sets. I'm not even necessarily mad at the idea of having more modern tech in Natlan, but the problems lie more in the execution. First, Natlan made a point to set up an aesthetic style for Natlanese technology, like that within the ancient Sacred Mountain area, but then they only used it in that area. If Maoika's motorcycle or Shilonen's DJ set looked anything like this, and not like sleek, modern variations of those objects, maybe they wouldn't have felt so out of place. And
This is true. And Outland definitely didn't quite hit for a lot of people. But they do like, I mean, okay, comparing to the recent trend that's been going on, saying that every male or female characters have like the same concept or the same design or the same structure. I feel like that cannot be said for like most of Natlan's character. I feel like for Natlin, they do try their best to implicate a lot of culture and a lot of like symbols into the character's design and stuff, but the elephant in the room is that they don't implicate the skin color of those culture or those those regions that those regions were based on the cultures. And it's such it does annoys me a lot, but let's give them a little bit of lineage, if that's the word that can be used here. But yeah, I think they've tried, but they need to try harder. I think that can be said, maybe.
Another problem with the tech is that no one else in Natlan, other than the playable characters, use it at all. You don't see any other Natlanese people rollerblading or driving vehicles. They probably wouldn't feel so out of place if other people in the 6 tribes had access to this stuff. There is perhaps no location in Natlan that is so out of place as the Easy Breeze Holiday Resort. I did love the lore that this location provided for Bennett, but everything else about it is so ass, dude. It genuinely feels like a different game to walk around this resort.
It is true. I mean, other than this place being a summer event based region, or yeah, region, most of it, yeah, it very different. It's very different compared to the other parts of Nutland. That is true.
There's a huge slide in the shape of a Koholosaurus, a dark ride a la Disneyland, a field that looks like a fucking Wii Sports golf course, and like a music festival area with a dance-off stage. I cannot stress enough how immersion breaking it is to explore this area. Have there been silly summer-themed areas in the past? Yes, but none of them have ever had an aesthetic on par with this one. I mean, the Golden Apple Archipelago just looks like it was taken straight out of Mondstadt or Liyue in terms of design, while still looking very fantastical, with impossible landscapes that could only be created by a mage of incredible power like Alice. Unfortunately, the visual aspects aren't Natlan's only faults. I and many others also found the lore and quest of this region to be pretty lacking too. We'll start with the basics. Each nation in Teyvat has a divine ideal that is represented by the Archon. So far, we've been introduced to 6 ideals of 7: freedom, contracts, eternity, wisdom, justice, and war. Most of these, at least to me, represent a good idea of what a divine ideal should be, something that a god is supposed to uphold in their nation. Sometimes upholding the ideal leads to conflict in the region. For example, in her upholding of eternity, Raiden Shogun sealed her borders and stole the ability to use elemental magic from her people, all for the sake of keeping Inazuma the same for all time. At the same time, Raiden herself represents the concept of eternity. She locks herself away to practice hundreds of years of meditation, and uses undying puppets of herself to exact her will on the people of her nation. It's honestly very upsetting the way that they rushed through her arc so much, because I think she would have made for such a compelling character otherwise. Now think about Mawika in the same way, with regards to her divine ideal, which is war. How does she represent war? Well, she's fighting a war against the Abyss, like everybody else in Teyvat. Yeah, maybe they have it worse than other nations, but still, what happens when the war ends? Which it does at the end of the Archon quest. It's not like Mawika is some battle-crazed maniac. At most, she's just kind of thoughtless and reckless in her actions. Do you see how...
I feel like, yeah, this part is also true because when Natlan came out, I would say, yeah, the most disappointing Archon, I would say right now it's Mavuika. Yeah. I think I can say that because when you think of the Nation of War, I feel like they are going against the stereotype of like the God of War not being like very aggressive or not being uncontrollable flame, because Mavuika is portrayed as the very calm and very collected, and everything goes right in her way as an Archon, as a like human being as well, which I find very like we can't relate to a lot to that type of character. We don't see any like fall off for her. I mean, she does have the will, and she does like sacrifice a lot, like an immense amount. But yeah, I don't feel any like connection to her as a character when comparing to like other Archon. I feel like all the other Archons sets a very strict standard as to what an Archon would be, you know? And yeah, I think Mavuika did fail to meet that expectation for most people. And for her gameplay as well. But yeah, that's the story for later. Yeah.
War doesn't really work as a divine ideal, and least of all with Mawika as its representative. Also, it's a nation of war made up of 6 different factions, and yet there's absolutely no conflict between them. It really just doesn't make any sense. This is why I personally always thought it would be cool if the Pyro Archon was a villain to her people. Maybe she makes them fight each other gladiator style for her own entertainment, and then maybe we would have a better rebellion storyline than Inazuma with an Archon that's completely irredeemable. Because we certainly know that the Cryo Archon is gonna get redeemed in some way if she's ever going to become playable. We will also touch on that in a later section in more detail. Instead, in Mawika, we have an Archon who is a Mary Sue. Ironic when she's the only Archon who is actually a human and would likely have the most flaws out of any of them. The thing is, Mawika is very flawed. She is extremely irresponsible and brash even when it will put the lives of her entire nation at stake. Her nation is at war with the Abyss, and she's like, well, best thing I can do for you guys now is go to sleep for 500 years and hope and pray that the heroes I need will appear to me when I need them. What? That is crazy of you! And yet
Oh my
the game
God.
tries to make me feel bad for her for doing this. The game, instead of pointing out how terrible and risky this plan is, just focuses on the fact that Mawika had to say goodbye to her family in order to put this plan into action. Dog, I do not care. The writing doesn't focus at all on what's important here. It just makes her out to be the perfect Archon who's good at everything and refuses to fail. There were no memorable parts of that quest for me, except for maybe the final battle. And it's not even like the characters here can make up for this nation's incredibly boring and stupid story. For me, all of them were so nothing. It boggles my mind that so many of y'all are shipping these MFs together when they barely have interesting relationships with each other at all. I feel like all of their personalities could be explained in one word. Mulaney is bubbly, Kinich is standoffish, Kachina is insecure, Barisa, she eats a lot. Oh, and Mawika. What can be said that I haven't already touched on? She's good at everything. She's the perfect Archon, and even her reckless plan for saving her nation isn't questioned by anyone that matters or treated by the game as risky at all, even though it is. And in the end, she just defeats the Abyss with the power of friendship. It reminds me of that TikTok where they had the cutscene with all the heroes side by side with the clip from My Little Pony Equestria Girls. The writers go out of their way to make Mawika seem like the coolest person ever, when in reality she has like no personality. Like, can we talk about how her trailer was just this cringe-ass music video where all of the nation heroes are playing instruments in a band? Oh my god. It's like literally unbearable to watch. And it's not like any of the other characters do anything to move the plot forward. This region doesn't even know how to treat its lore-relevant characters as such. Auroran and Ion-san are the Natlan heroes from the Masters of the Nightwind and the Collective of Plenty, respectively, but I guess they're not important enough to be the focuses of the Tribal Chronicles. Instead, those honors are given to Seatlali and Varesa, the latter of which we hadn't even met during the Natlan Archon.
This one I agree. We need another Auroran story quest. Because Auroran's story quest is pretty interesting because he only have half a soul. Oh god. I'm stretching. But yeah. Auroran's story hasn't been like touched on a lot. And for Versa as well. Versa not being like in the big 6, if you say it. If you might say. But even though she's not in the big 6, she's still one of the like good DPS in the game when comparing to like other characters. So that's one thing that I don't understand. I know that sometimes lore doesn't like guarantee that character to be good, like for example Ning Wang versus like someone like I don't know, some other shops or other characters. Maybe, yeah. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of little problems going on with Natlan. Okay, let's continue.
Quest. She was literally invented just to take Ion-san's place. I wonder why that is. In any case, most of the important actions are driven by Mawika and the Traveler, so none of these characters feel important at all. They're just accessories to Again, the power of friendship storyline. But like I said, that obviously doesn't work unless these characters feel like they have meaningful relationships with each other, which they don't. Needless to say, I did not pull for any of the Natlan characters, even though their combat mechanics are in the meta right behind lunar reactions. The only one I really wanted, and only just recently got on Inefa's rerun, was the 4-star character Aoife, and that's mostly because he's a gorgeous cowboy. On the topic of Natlan characters being in the meta, Natlan...
Are we starting to see the signs right now? Maybe. I mean, I don't get why. Maybe I can get why. Like, for people skipping an entire nation's mechanic, I do understand why they do that. But, I mean, for me at least, yeah. Maybe, sure, if you don't care about the meta, then you don't need to pull for any characters. If I say that, you can like use characters from 1.0, 1.x or something. But as the game progresses, you need to pull regardless. It is a gacha game at the end of the day. So you have to choose like 1 or 2 characters from each nation. For me, I do pull quite regularly, mainly because I want teams to like do the Abyss with or do the Stygian with. And some of their kits is very interesting. For example, Versa. Versa, I did not expect her to be like one of the best DPS in the game. I think she still is, but I did not expect her to be good. Or like she performs well. But yeah. I mean, sure, you can skip an entire nations if you don't like it. But, yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah, that's good. I mean, everyone has different opinion. So yeah, I'll say that.
is also when the shill started getting really bad. Soon enough, the Abyss and other endgame modes were tailor-made for Night Soul mechanics, with some bosses that are nearly impossible to beat without Natlan characters in the team. Just started a trend that only gets worse with time. One that leads us directly into... It's hard to forget how hyped people were when the first trailer for the new area of Teyvat, Nordkrai, was released. Nordkrai is a sub-nation of Snezhnaya, the last of the 7 nations we were supposed to visit in our search for our lost twin, so naturally the lore is getting pretty intense here. But the reaction to seeing so many lore-relevant characters in one trailer was immense. We got first glimpses of 2 members of the Hexen Circle, Alice and Nicole, the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, Varka, who we'd only heard about in passing until this point, and 2 Fatui Harbingers that hadn't appeared on screen before, Sandrone and Columbina. Every look we got was very fleeting, and it was hard to glean any info from this trailer alone, but people were still so excited. Imagine what Nordkrai has in store if there's so many important characters here, ones that we've only heard whispers about prior. Well... Nordkrai is better than Natlan by a long shot, but would you hate me if I said that this also disappointed me? Don't get me wrong, Nordkrai in a lot of ways was kind of a positive return to form for Genshin. First of all, these characters actually feel like they know each other past, teehee, we're all best buddies! Aino and Inefa are so sweet, Varka and Flynn's are hilarious together, and Nefer and Lauma have some of the craziest Yuri subtext since Beidou and Ningguang. These characters feel more real as a result of their relationships with each other. I could enumerate more about them based on how they interact with others. Crazy, right? It made for a more interesting quest, too, one that I could more easily become invested in. Nordkrai did a lot of stuff right, but the true problem with the region unfortunately falls on the back of one character for me. One that was so highly anticipated, not just by me, but by so many people in this fandom, but she delivered so little. Columbina. I know, there's a lot of Columbina lovers out there, but I'm sorry. There are so many reasons I cannot stand this woman, and part of it is because she's a complete disappointment. You might be familiar with the way that people thought Columbina was going to be a creepy character, maybe leaning into the biblically accurate angel aesthetic, There was a super popular theory that Columbina was a member of the canonical angel race, so this would make sense in a way. This creepy aesthetic for Columbina was also explored in a beautiful animation for Hoyo Fair called Stairway to Heaven by Kieru. The imagery is so spooky and it uses like analog horror elements. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it after this. Oh my god, it's amazing. And this assumption that Columbina would be scary was not for nothing. People are always like, you just had an image in your head of what you wanted Columbina to be, and now you're disappointed that it didn't happen. And even if that is partially why people are disappointed, there is still in-game evidence and evidence in lore-relevant YouTube videos to support what people thought about her. Let's go over some, shall we? 1. Columbina's appearance. Let's go over what we knew she looked like from our first look at her, the Winter Nights Let's trailer. First, she has black and dark pink hair, colors that do not suggest something delicate or gentle. However, these dark colors are paired with Columbina's winged headdress, made of white feathers like dove wings. Not only does this mirror her name, Columbina, which means little dove, it also bears the appearance of a seraph, a type of angel in Christian theology. Seraphs typically have 3 pairs of wings and have the role of singing the praises of their god. Considering Columbina was a Fatui harbinger, maybe the praises that she was singing were for the Tsaritsa. Columbina is also clearly wearing a black and pink outfit under her Fatui coat, something that they very evidently dropped in her final design. Finally, Columbina has her eyes covered, suggesting maybe an unfeeling or uncaring personality, or maybe some mysterious power that lies behind her eyes. 2. Columbina's actions. In the trailer, she is singing a soft lullaby, smiling gently while laying along the coffin of her recently deceased fellow harbinger. I don't care what anyone says, that's creepy. It shows that she kind of has this detached attitude regarding death, especially of her own colleague. 3. What other characters say about her. Child's voice line about his fellow harbinger points the most to a scary character in Columbina.
The Fatui harbingers are ranked by strength, and I have no idea why that girl is number 3. I'd test my skills with every harbinger who ranks above me if I had the chance. But when it comes to her, something just doesn't feel right. Anyway, you should be careful around her.
Even Child sounded scared to challenge her to a battle, and he loves fighting with strong opponents. Scaramouche also suggests staying away from her and implies that she is not as innocent as she seems.
Let me ask. What should you do if you were to encounter a damsel who is oblivious and innocent at any given time, and unconcerned and unfeeling in any given situation? If it were me, I could at least challenge her to a fight. But if it were you, with your conscience, I would stay away from her.
The way that I've seen people defend this is by saying that Child and Scaramouche are bad at reading people and they didn't know her that well, so of course their assumption would be wrong. They just knew that she was powerful. Dude, you are not getting at the reason why these voice lines are put in the game. Yes, they are useful for showing the relationships between characters and what characters think about each other, but they should also be used to provide hints and information about characters that we haven't met yet. If you put in a voice line about Columbina not being what she seems, then people are going to listen to that and assume that she's not what she seems, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think people just aren't willing to admit that Genshin has bad and inconsistent writing sometimes. 4th, her rank. Columbina was long known to be the 3rd harbinger. It's also been known for a long time that the closer they are to number 1 in the rankings, the more powerful they are. Columbina being a long time that the...
I actually haven't seen through this like thoroughly. Scaramouche was number 3. Pentalowing was number 9. Really? Uh-huh. We still don't know anything about Piero. Rooster, we've seen him in the trailer already, but we haven't seen like Piero anywhere in the trailer, so I don't know why that is. But given his like design, I don't think he's going to be playable. But other than that, yeah, Columbina being number 3, and the whole like Columbina being rewritten, that whole story. I mean, I think it's true. I think, yeah, there's no arguing about it. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a statement that everyone, like most people, can back up. So yeah, there's nothing right now. There's nothing for me to say right now.
The closer they are to number 1 in the rankings, the more powerful they are. Columbina being number 3, especially right below Dottore, who is notably unhinged and evil, suggests that she is not only similarly powerful, but also similarly devoted to her work as part of a major villain faction. I cannot stress this enough. Clearly, there is a wealth of evidence to support the theories that people had about Columbina. I'm tired of people pretending that it wasn't there, and I'm tired of people pretending that it wouldn't have worked tonally. There is literally a villain who does human experimentation. There was literally a genocide in Conria. But no. Instead, we learn that Columbina is actually a moon goddess? Okay, sure. But also, she's actually just a damsel in distress, like her name suggests. She's timid and soft-spoken and gentle, and she's shy at first, but eventually opens up to you, and you are the most special person in her life, even though you've known her for maybe 2 weeks. I cannot stand how willfully obtuse people will be about Columbina, pretending not to see the fan service that is sitting right in front of them. She hides behind the Traveler when she doesn't know how to talk to people. Aww. She likes to eat snacks. Aww. You get to feed her during Moon Prayer Night while the English VA is moaning into the mic every 2 seconds. Aww. She's so weak. She can't do anything by herself and probably would have died if the Traveler hadn't rescued her. Aww. People like to pretend that it's somehow misogynistic to point this out. Again, purposefully ignoring that Hoyo...
Okay. So, right now, she's correct. I mean, it cannot be denied that Columbina, once again, falls into the category of being one of the many of Traveler's love interests in the game, or they are said to be. It's pretty evident for the first one. That's like extremely obvious. The first one was Ayaka. The second one, I think, like the most notable that I can remember on the top of my head was like Satlali, and now we have Columbina. Satlali, like all of them, like all 3 of them, has very interesting lore. But to be reduced to being like just be the Traveler's love interest and react to some extent to the interactions that the Traveler have to some of the other characters that they have in game. But Ayaka not as much. Ayaka was the least like that. The most that like reacts to Travelers, but actively being jealous when Travelers go and interact with other characters was Sitlali. Sitlali, I feel so upset sometimes that Sitlali was reduced to just being a love interest or having a crush on the Traveler. I mean, it's good to have crush sometimes. I'm not saying that the game should be like neutral, but you need to do it right sometimes. Like for example, Shao for the Traveler, or other characters that I can't remember, Lenny, and some other female characters as well. That can be done very well. But for Sitlali, for this event specifically, I don't know. Like seeing Sitlali being jealous that the Traveler's having a long conversation with Sandrone, it puts me off a lot. Like Sitlali as a character is very interesting, right? Like being immortal and having like the bond with the Travelers being immortal and all that stuff. And it's being like, if they have that bond, it's pretty noticeable that you're going to have a crush on a person that you relate to a lot, or you relate with a lot, and it being shown on the like um what was it called? I don't know. It being shown on her story quest is fine. It's good. I feel like that's good. But yeah, I just don't like her personality regarding the jealousy that she has towards other character when it comes to the MC. That's all.
Hoyo is writing her this way intentionally. Guys, I kid you not, she literally turns invisible for a significant portion of the Archon quest. I promise you, that is not feminist. And it's not even like the moon goddess thing makes any sense. They even come up with some last-minute reason why she covers her eyes. There was a time when I refused to look upon the world. I believed it was full of nothing but lies and falsehoods. I wished to hide my feelings, seal my heart, until I could return to my true home. Oh my god. If this is what they originally planned to do with her, which it wasn't.
I mean, it's true. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because yeah, Tevat has a false sky. So I don't understand her point from that reason. Or I think she's saying that the reason that she's covering her eyes, not because she's a very like cold and out of touch character. I think she's disappointing at the reason why she covered her eyes is because of the reason that Genshin has for her in the Archon quest right now. I think that's why she has some complaints. But I think that's a relevant reason, so I don't know what's her deal for this is.
Then she was a goddamn waste of a Harbinger slot. It is so clear to me that she was never their original intention for the moon goddess. Her design suffers so bad as a result of Hoyo's ineptitude. I mean, look at these colors. They don't go together at all. Oh my god, she's so beautiful. No, she's not. Her design is two different designs smashed together. In fact, these colors only look okay together when they purposefully give the outfit more purple tones, which they could have just as easily done in the game model, but they didn't. Even her constellation is a mishmash of her Fatui aesthetic and her goddess aesthetic. We have both the traditional portrait shape that all the other gods in the game get, and also her symbol of the crying dove, just shoved right in at the bottom. I completely believe the idea that Nodcry, or that this character at least, was rewritten at some point because there was no indication that they had any semblance of a plan for such a highly anticipated character. And the most frustrating part about all of this to me is that Hoyo actually leans into several of the things that people thought about Columbina, but only enough that it feels like they're teasing and laughing in the face of their fans, as if we read into it too much or something. In her burst, she grows wings like an angel, and these wings bear resemblance to a Seelie court, both echoing the theory that she is an angel. But she's not an angel. In her character trailer, she performs a ballet, which calls to mind for me the very popular fan design in which she was a ballerina, something that the ribbons on her hands and feet might suggest. And it kills me because this trailer is beautiful. The visuals and the choreography are gorgeous. The symbolism of Dottore as the pianist who's controlling the dance by playing the music, oh my god, I love it. But it would be even better if she was a dancer or a ballerina of some kind, because she isn't. Even though that would have made a lot of sense thematically with her singing. Perhaps the strangest example of Hoyoverse leaning into the theories about Columbina is that they have the singer Aurora wearing a dress with eyes on it during the Welkin Moon concert, which suggests the biblically accurate angel thing. Maybe I'm reading too much into this last one especially, but I cannot take it. It is so frustrating because they are so close. But no, Genshin is allergic to having playable characters who are morally gray or irredeemable. This leads to what I lovingly refer to as the Genshin villain problem. Other popular gacha games, like Cookie Run Kingdom, literally have morally reprehensible or canonically dead characters that are playable. What is stopping Genshin from making their villains stay villains, but also become playable? Columbina is just an embodiment of a bigger problem in Genshin. They do not want to have any characters who have questionable morals become playable. Most of the time, this ends up going in two ways. The first is that the character is redeemed and then becomes friends with the Traveler before becoming playable. This is what has happened to every playable Harbinger thus far. Tartaglia fights anything that moves, but he respects the Traveler even though they have different motives and values. He only ever wants a friendly spar with them. Scaramouche has no one else who understands his past and is connected with the Traveler in that way. Arlecchino is a ruthless woman who is grooming children to be a part of the Fatui, but it turns out that the House of the Hearth is a lot less sinister under her rule, so that's okay too, I guess. And Columbina,
this battle was never about fate. It's about friends, family, and the home you
This is the
sought
most
from them.
obnoxious thing I've ever experienced in my life.
the second way it goes is that the character cannot be redeemed and is therefore killed off so that they won't become playable. This is what happened to Signora way back in Inazuma, and most recently it happened to Dottore. This was honestly shocking to me, especially considering how much of a fan favorite Dottore is. Let me be clear, Dottore
This part is true. So yeah, I have nothing to say.
is a horrible person, and he should not be redeemed. We should be able to understand his motives without forgiving him for what he has done. He has imposed so much pain on so many people in the game, and his morals are extremely corrupt, but he's still very, very interesting, and you can sometimes almost understand where he's coming from while still not condoning his methods, which I must stress is what makes a well-written villain. People love this guy's character. But now, he can never become playable because as of right now, he's dead. Little did you know, though, that there is a secret third option, which is what they did to Capitano, a combo of options 1 and 2. They redeemed him, and then still killed him off anyway. What a strange decision that was. Again, for a character that was extremely highly anticipated, they just threw in all this tragic backstory for him at the very end of the Natlan Archon quest, and then he fucking died right after that, so none of it mattered at all. It's like they don't understand their own visual cues. A perfect example of this to me is Escoffier. Maybe, again, this might be just me, but even she gave me creepy vibes in the silhouette teaser from the live stream where they revealed upcoming characters for 2025. She has this hair that sticks out, the shape of which largely resembles horns and conveys a sort of like wildness of her personality. She has a devil's pitchfork tail that's positioned up where we can clearly see it, and she's holding a sharp knife up. Like, she looked psycho to me, and I was intrigued. And at least that would have been interesting and different. But no, not only is this design ass, but it's also incredibly misleading. She's just kind of a tsundere who's very particular about her food. I don't understand why they're like this, guys. One of my favorite comments that I've seen about this that just perfectly embodies my feelings on the matter is this from the unofficial Genshin subreddit. They're allergic to morally gray, redeemable, or just bad characters because they don't know how to write anything that isn't a shitty isekai where the main character wins using the power of friendship and his harem. Oh, speaking of harem, it's an anime gacha game. You have to expect fan service. Okay, I know that. But Genshin used to be different from other games in its genre, and I mean that genuinely. There used to be a much better ratio of female to male 5-star characters than many other gacha games, because so many gacha games are targeted at male audiences who aren't perceived as being interested in the male characters. And there were sexy character outfits, especially on the women, lots of detached sleeves, short skirts, also known as the coochie flap, thigh-high socks, or boots. But
Wait, what? Did they actually call it that?
they were
Okay.
nowhere near as bad as they are now. These women are nearly naked now. And not only does that make me mad and uncomfortable from a standpoint of being a woman who feels objectified just by looking at these designs, but also from a character design standpoint. I have quite a bit to say about the sharp drop-off in not only the quality of the Genshin character designs, but also in the tastefulness of them. To show you what I mean, we can talk about some early Genshin designs to compare them to more recent ones. I think it's important to discuss the physical elements of these characters first before we discuss the fan service elements of their presentation, writing, and personalities, because the physical appearance is the most obvious element. but I promise we will get to the other stuff in due time. Also keep in mind that I'm only going to be talking about female characters because most of the time, the male characters are almost always covered from chin to toe now, aka the fan service is not equal opportunity. One of the first characters I'll mention is Lisa, one of the very first anime fan servicey characters that we're introduced to in the game. She teases the traveler, she calls them cutie, and she's averse to doing any sort of work. Her character design communicates so much about her though, nonetheless. Her hairstyle, which is very loose and almost looks like it's falling out on one side, shows us that lazy element of her personality. Her purple, black, and gold color palette obviously communicates her element of electro, but also a sense of importance, luxuriousness, and magic. Her classically styled witch hat also conveys the latter, of course. Yae Miko is similar to Lisa in terms of teasing personality, although Miko can get a bit more cruel and self-indulgent with it. She has a sharper eye shape than Lisa's gentle round eyes to indicate this part of her personality. Her outfit is also a stylized version of a traditional Japanese shrine maiden outfit, giving her the required amount of gacha game sexiness while also showing her spiritual importance in Inazuma. Her design being more complicated than the other shrine maidens also signifies that her role is the most important of all of them. Her hair is the color of a sakura blossom, and she has cherry blossom motifs in her clothing, again emphasizing her Japanese inspiration, but also her connection to the sacred sakura of Inazuma, which is deeply connected with her element of electro. Xinyan is one of my favorite Liyuan character designs because it combines traditional elements of Chinese clothing styles with Xinyan's rock aesthetic, so you immediately know by looking at her what she represents. Xinyan wears lots of dark colors, spikes, and fishnet, features common in punk or alternative clothing styles. All of this is accented by red and orange, obviously representing her pyro vision, but also her passionate and fiery personality. Her hair even looks like it's glowing from the inside, which I always thought was such a cool detail. However, Xinyan also has some very subtle nods to her Liyuan culture. So while she mostly represents a counterculture in Liyue, she still maintains cohesion with the other character designs in her region. The last of the older character designs that I'm going to touch on is Navia's, probably my favorite Fontanian design personally. This design is basically a sluttier version of a traditional French aristocratic gown, but it still covers most of her body. Navia's design exudes wealth. It is full of ruffles and jewels. She has these big, billowy curls. She's got this big hat decorated with feathers. She brings along a frilly parasol. She also maintains connection to her hometown of Poisson with these ship wheels on her hips, as well as the canon theming of her elemental burst. Navia is also a very cheerful character, which her yellow color palette communicates. And she also has got these cute sparkles in her eyes that show that. As you can see, these designs are not only pretty tasteful in terms of gacha character designs, but they also do their job. They communicate information about the character, even if you knew nothing about them to begin with. This is what makes a good character design, and it is ironically what many character designs in modern Genshin fail to do. Not only that, but they also get more and more boring and more insulting as time goes on. So let's take a walk through them, shall we? This ought to be fun. One of my least favorite recent characters is Citlali. Again, I know a fan favorite, but I'm sorry, I do not like her. Her design certainly isn't the most offensive of the Natlan ones. I just find her annoying. I do think her English VA is very good at their job and that they do a great job with Citlali's voice, but I really just don't like the character's writing. We will talk about that in a bit. One of the things I dislike about her design, though, is this goddamn leotard that she's wearing. This girl is literally wearing a thong. The sweater thing would go right up her butt crack. I cannot stand stuff like this. Also, side note real quick, I have to pause to talk about the state of Genshin character trailers. Can we talk about how these videos used to be actual showcases of the character's combat abilities with like little elements of story sprinkled in? Ones that strike this balance well, in my opinion, are Nahida's trailer, Farina's trailer, and Arlecchino's trailer. But now, character trailers are either, 1, headache-inducing fan edits with these wildly inappropriate aesthetic choices, like Nefer's trailer or Citlali's, or 2, music videos that make me feel like I'm going to implode from cringing, like Shilonen or Mawiko's trailer. At most, these ones show the elemental burst animation. It doesn't tell you anything about what it's like to actually play the character in the video game that I'm supposed to be pulling for them in. Tell me how that's supposed to give me a good impression of these characters. Anyway, back to Citlali's outfit. It's the same thing with Mawika. Her design features a zipper that goes all the way around between her legs.
Mavika, yeah. I still don't know why, like what decisions they've made regarding Mavika's design. I don't know, there's so much decision. Wrong ones regarding Mavika's character. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Up to her back. That can't be comfortable, right? Especially riding a motorcycle. And also, what exactly does this design communicate about Mawika other than being a biker? Yeah, I guess she's got sun imagery to represent her Archonhood, but to me, her hair is the only thing about her design that gives me Pyro Archon. But then, you know, all of that still goes away when she fights and her hair lights up. And then we have Veresa. I was really excited about this design when I saw the silhouette in that same teaser we were talking about earlier. Oh my gosh, a girl that's a cow. Oh my god, that's gonna be so cute. I love these braids and the big horns. I mean, I wonder what kind of color palette she'll have. Maybe like browns and greens, something earthy because she's a farm animal. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I guess that works too. Just kidding. I hate this design. One of my least favorites in the entire game. I just like, what was the point, dude? Why is she so like kawaii themed? She's got hearts and bows everywhere. She wears leg warmers and a cardigan. The skirt is pointless because it's too short to cover her ass. You expect me to believe that this is a lucha libre fighter? I know that luchadoras often dress in similar silhouettes to Veresa's outfit, but they didn't incorporate any elements of the culture that Veresa is inspired by, or the one that her name comes from. There are plenty of lucha libre fighters who incorporate elements of their culture into their costumes. They could have gotten really creative with it. But it's not like it even matters because we never even get to see her fight like a luchadora in the game. It's
Wait, I need to go for a while. So, let me put this up right here. I'll be right back. I'm back. Oh, okay. Let's continue. Let me hide this. Okay.
It's all just the food bullshit and falling on her ass all the time. It's especially frustrating because the animators have been
I realize that these are Lucia. Okay. Okay. But regarding Verisa's like design, the only part that I don't like about her design is that some of her like color palette has like darker colors, like black. I mean, if they were to go to that route, they would have made the black seems very prominent on a lot more places. But regarding Versace, I don't think that's a bad design. Yes, people have like expectations for her design to be different, but I think I don't think there's anything wrong with her design.
getting really creative with the normal attack animations lately. They could have gone crazy with her and made her do insane moves. Something like this. Like I said earlier, I was interested too in Escoffier's design based on the silhouette, but I was also very disappointed with this reveal. Not only does this outfit make no sense with regards to breaking up any colors or with this weird heart theming that she has, similar to Veresa. Again, I don't know why they keep doing this, but her outfit is literally just this.
What's the... But nothing's wrong with hearts, I think.
Sexy chef Halloween costume. She's wearing an apron with nothing underneath it. Not only is that insulting, but it's boring and it's lazy. You guys literally couldn't bother to design a shirt for her to wear under this apron. They would just rather put more effort into the detailing on her fucking stockings than design her a shirt. Skirk makes me mad in a similar way because they literally took an already very revealing outfit and made her more naked when she made the transition from NPC to playable character.
Wait, what? I don't see any difference. It doesn't seem that much revealing. Like, the outfit itself's pretty revealing, but to make it so that, like, they're saying that the model in the game is pretty revealing compared to the NPC model. I don't think that's the case. They both look very similar. I mean, if they're talking about the chest area, maybe, yeah.
Lauma is one of the ones that makes me the saddest because I actually really love the way that she's written in the narrative. Her voice acting is so beautiful and gentle, and I find her quiet strength to be really, really compelling. It just sucks because she would be perfect if she wasn't almost naked. For Lauma, I don't feel hatred like I do for Veresa because Lauma has good writing to make up for her design. I just feel
Okay.
bad for her. Like, oh my god, you poor woman. You're probably so cold and uncomfortable all the time. Actually, she's named after a creature from Baltic folklore that's traditionally depicted as a nude woman. That is literally just another excuse to make a woman with large breasts walk around with a single piece of cloth covering her ass. You can't convince me that Lauma isn't meant to be sexualized by the game when she makes this face while bound by Rayrir. Finally, we have Nefer. Now,
I did not, like, even notice that that's the face that she makes.
hate this design necessarily. I actually really like
I mean, coming from a gay person, I think that's the case, but yeah.
the top of it. Her hairstyle is really cool. I love the cape and the vibrant gold and green colors, but it's just another design in this long pattern of just giving up on the legs of these female character designs. Not only does this white skirt completely blend into her insanely pale skin, but they also make no effort to give her some socks or stockings to balance out these colors or make the design more interesting. Like, I really love this fan design that not only
Maybe I'm too familiar with her original design, but yeah.
gives her a darker skirt, but also some snake pattern thigh-high socks. I really wish that they had leaned into her snake theming more, as a side note. But alas, it's always the same. A super detailed design from the waist up, and absolutely nothing except maybe a thigh garter on the legs. Again, Columbina falls into this too. She wears this super detailed, tiny dress, one that's so short it makes...
But yeah, she's just, again, going through the design for women's design in Genshin, it's a very repetitive design, which people are getting tired of it already. It's been like 5 or 6 years already. Fix it up.
Makes her legs look obscenely long like a spider, and then she doesn't even wear shoes, just these fuck-ass water orb heels because they couldn't bear to let a woman walk flat on her.
What's wrong with the heels? Like, she's saying some very good points, but countering those points is some pretty odd ones. I feel like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with those heels itself. The heels makes up for the characteristic of the character. In this case, Columbina. I mean, she is correct in the color palette being very, like, jarring, or it doesn't mix well for her hair versus her, like, accessories or her clothes. Yes, but her heel is kind of like the distinctive, like, differentiates her against, like, other characters. So I don't have any things, like, anything bad to say about the heels.
Feet. And the way that these women are drawn sometimes is so stupid too. Even the character designs that I consider to be better than these suffer from the fan service. Even though I wish her skirt was longer to add some variety to the designs, I really like Mizuki's design, but she literally shows her butt to the camera during her burst and in her official art. In fact, Hoyo only draws these characters in impossible poses more and more for the sake of making them more goonable. Literally, Mizuki is posed so you can somehow see her underboob and butt at the same time. They do the same thing with Mawika. Her back is arched so heavily just so that they can display both her cleavage and her ass. Veresa's also the same, plus she's making that face like, oh, you caught me, and I have food all over my face, oh no! Oh my god. I hated saying that out loud. And see, Lali is literally squishing her chest so heavily with, what? A stuffed animal? A pillow? That is not how this part of the body works. This is only one of the anime fan service tropes that Genshin has increasingly leaned into over time. As the game progresses, we only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type. Oh my god. It's over, guys. We only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type. Oh my god, I can't fucking say.
Okay, chill.
As the game progresses, we only get more and more characters that fit the tsundere character type, which I personally find annoying. Lali and Sandrone are the biggest examples of this, but I would also argue that Escoffier falls into this trope sometimes. Somewhat related is the increasing number of characters who have very obvious crushes or similar devotion to the Traveler, all of whom seem to be women, ironically. Ayaka was a big one early on, but since then we've had Mizuki blushing around the Traveler, and the game purposefully putting her into situations in which we're meant to, like, cutely embarrass her. It's clearly meant to have a teasing romantic tone to it. Similarly, Lali has a big crush on the Traveler, made evident by being portrayed like this in her Valentine's Day art, and by all the times the game has given us very convenient plot-related ways to read each other's thoughts. Dude, this shit is painful to play. And then most recently we've had Columbina, who, again, has only one
They failed to mention, like, Xiao or Lenny. I'll just say that.
True friend in the Traveler, and she cutely hides behind you, and you get to feed her.
This is like a repeated. I've watched this before. Like, what?
Again, these are all very romance-coded behaviors. The Traveler is literally represented as her savior and dance partner in her trailer. It is a pattern at this point. Can we please let women have more interesting relationships with the main character than being their shy waifu all the time? And again, this fan service is never equal opportunity. The male characters never get to have interactions or relationships like this with the player. Why not? We also have character-specific tropes. Veresa, I'm getting to you now. She was tailor-made for the feeder fetish. I kid you not, in one of her trailers, they animate food going into her stomach, and her stomach, like, jiggles and stuff, and oh my god. It is genuinely one of the most sickening and uncomfortable things I have seen coming out of this company.
It has some problems. But giving her Veresa's, like, whole personality, she's very playful, but I'm not defending Hoyoverse. I'm just saying that where they're coming from for Versa. But yeah, it is an issue if you think hard enough, or if you think about the issues. But yeah.
Her entire thing is eating comically large amounts of food. She has nothing else that matters to her character, to her personality, or anything about her. It's not like this would necessarily be bad on its own, but guys, she is literally a cow. This character is extremely insulting, and I hate her. And that's not even mentioning how she literally fights by falling on her ass. When you are playing her, she will fall and
She's just repeating the thing that she said before, but okay.
her ass will be facing the camera for multiple seconds before she gets up. And your eye is naturally drawn there because of her bright pink tail against her black skirt. And then when she gets up, she'll like dust herself off and be like, "Owie, that hurt! Shut up!" Ugh. And then we've got Nefer and her whole like clones thing, and the clones are like her servants, and she poses with them in sexually charged ways. Like she's holding this one's face and this one is laying in her lap. Like, I don't have to like spell out the way that this is incredibly fetishistic, right? I mean, Nefer literally does the stripper crawl across the table toward the camera in her trailer. She's meant to give femdom. And I mean, like the clones basically serve no purpose to her theming as a character. I think they could have taken them out of her whole thing and it wouldn't have made a difference to her kit or to her gimmicks. They literally only did it because they knew people would drool over it. Editing Aurelia here. In the process of making this video, Linnea has been released, and I just have to interject to say,
Here we go.
what the fuck were they thinking with this character? I feel like a crazy person because I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think she's adorable and in fact recognizes her for the creepy freak that she is. First of all, she clearly has absolutely no respect for living things that are not traditionally human. She keeps asking to touch and pet the Melusines as if they are not whole people. It's especially creepy because the Melusines are made to look like children. Having an adult character who is high-key obsessed with them and can't treat them as the people they are was a fucked up move on Hoyo's part. They literally make a point to emphasize the humanity of the Melusines and how they had to fight to be accepted in Fontanian society, and now we have a playable character who we are supposed to think is cute, harassing them and treating them as though they are pets. It's disgusting.
Okay. I don't think that's the case. They're not like pets in her eyes. She's very... I think she's a researcher, if I remember her lore correctly. But what struck me for Linnea is, for her story quest, I cried during her story quest. I adore her very much, even though she skipped me. But for Linnea, she, for me, as someone's portrayed as a person who doesn't know where they belong. Especially with her relationship with her little Faye. They're both like very intertwined with each other for the story. And I relate to them a lot because they are told to be like, they're not like fit in. They're not fit in into the place that they're at. So I relate to that a lot. So that's the only thing that struck me for Linnea. So let's see what she's saying here.
The trailer is sickening for the same reason. She fantasizes about being rubbed up on by Seedween, who, again, looks like a child, and Kirra, along with other Melusines and Nekomata. It reads as extremely fetishistic to me, which is a problem when the people that she's fantasizing about look like children. She chases these people around and doesn't seem to let up after being told multiple times to back off. There are multiple promotional materials in which she asks to touch a Melusine, which makes me think that it's happened more than once or twice. I mean, at least her character quest wasn't as bad. I won't spoil it, obviously.
Hi, An. I'm just going through the video. I mean, the video is basically them talking how bad Genshin has been, and for like 80% of the video, she talks a lot about the issues that's going on with Genshin. But yeah, I'm still getting to the rest of the video. But right now, she's saying that Linnea is very likes child and likes Melusine, so that's why she's indicate that Linnea likes children. I think that's going on. But what struck me for Linnea is she portrays me that she's someone that doesn't know where she belongs. That's Linnea for me. Yeah. Oh yeah. They did also have an update regarding this situation, so we'll get to that later. But there's still 10 more minutes of this video, so let's watch it all.
Because I said I wouldn't talk about content past Luna 5, but I still don't find this character appealing or compelling at all, as I feel like I've made it very clear. She doesn't even have an interesting design to make up for it. She's literally just a copy-paste of Charlotte. Even the wish art is the same. I haven't felt such a burning hatred for a character in a long time. Hoyoverse had the opportunity to portray Linnea as a character with a disability that made it difficult for her to fit in, because that was largely the reason the myth of changelings arose in the first place. The fairies were thought to swap their fae children for a human child, which was how several mythologies explained neurodivergence in children. Instead of portraying a really heartwarming story about a character who's autism-coded, we instead get a freak who can't stop harassing anyone.
Like, I don't know what she's going on in this right now because they do portray it in the story quest. They portray it very heavily. It's the main part of her story. So I don't know what they're going on with this. I don't know. Maybe this is where they haven't like played through the story quest just yet, but I don't know.
With non-human features. Ironic, considering how they want to portray her as an outcast who had no friends because she was a fae who looked different. Also, can we talk about how her lore makes no sense because the Tsaritsa and the Fatui are meant to be hunting down fae and eradicating them, hence why Flynn's hides his identity. But it's just completely fine that Linnea is outwardly a fae, perhaps even more obviously so than Flynn's because she doesn't cover the wings on her head or her crystal markings. Whatever. I really hope people open their eyes to how terrible this character is. Sorry if you feel kinship with her. She is not cute, she is not funny, she has no appealing character traits, and there are far better characters out there whose stories are about yearning for acceptance.
Well, let's get into it.
Anyway, back to the video. Before we move on to the last part, I feel the need to debunk something I've heard both in this fandom and in other fandoms with regards to sexualized character designs. She should be able to wear whatever she wants. It's feminist to let women express themselves how they want. Listen, I choose to believe that this argument isn't made in bad faith. It's more like people who say this have good intentions, but they don't understand what it is that they're actually saying. Yes, it's true that women in real life should be able to choose what they wear. If they want to wear revealing clothing, that is completely their choice. However, these women are not real and do not have the autonomy that we do. They are purposefully manufactured to be bait for the male gaze. They are animated in revealing outfits and drawn in uncomfortable poses and written into compromising situations on purpose. These developers have control over how these women are portrayed, and they
This is an ongoing issue, and I do agree with her on this one.
choose to portray them increasingly as vessels for hypersexualization, fetishization, and fan service. That is not feminist. That's not to say that Hoyoverse doesn't do this in their other games. Zenless Zone Zero comes to mind, but to me, at least, that game is honest about what it is, and it has been since the beginning. Boob physics and maid outfits and schoolgirl uniforms and all. At least over there, the fan service is a little more equally spread across the male and female characters. Genshin Impact still pretends that it's this grand world of exploration it was 4 years ago, while its writing and characters suffer. Expect visual upgrades like you've never.
Speaking of ZZZ, I think I will take a rest or take a break from the game because the male to female ratio is pretty evident in the game. Because the next update, they only have like one more male characters when they are releasing like 10 plus female characters, I think. So yeah, I'm taking a break from that. And because the storage that I have on my device does not allow me to play multiple games. Yeah, I'm already on a break for it. And is Honkai getting an update today? I don't know. I need to boot up GeForce for it, which is gonna take a while. Let me tell you, I boot up GeForce when I started up my PC like in the evening for like three hours. That's when I get to go into the game. But yeah, it's pretty hard because we need to like wait a while. log on in the morning, I'm sleeping in the morning. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have like a serious issues regarding my sleep schedule. But yeah, I think I need to. But yeah, oh, update on my life. I haven't been streaming for 8 days, and a lot has happened around those 8 days. But yeah, I'll get into it later. But yeah, I'm getting a job soon. I don't know when. But yeah, that's kind of like a lore update for me. New arbitration already? What? The new story quest? Oh yeah, I've done Moriman's story quest, and it's pretty interesting. For N, I'm currently on chapter 8 right now. So for N specifically, he's very similar to the villain that we have in Honkai right now. Like playing a role as a father for 20 years for Ramona. It's pretty similar, or Honkai's story is pretty similar to that because Mormons is releases before. So yeah, there's a lot of resemblance regarding N's character and the villain that we have in Honkai. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I don't know what's going on next regarding that story because Ramona is still with Clementine, if that's her name. But yeah, I'm still on that story quest because I still need to beat the stages. I just had an eye surgery. Ooh, is it painful at least? Yeah, and doing it for pure joy. I think that's pretty similar to like ahas or like elations in general. But yeah, I can't believe that Dexter is dead. Uh, it's kind of unfortunate because he has a very cool design. You're good after that? Well, that's good. Okay, but let's watch the remaining of the video.
Never seen before, all while we refuse to visually upgrade older characters because who gives a shit about them, right? Or as we
True. This part is true. They need to update older characters' models.
increase the shill for pay-to-win players, or for Milliastra Wonderland, which no one fucking asked for and no one cares about, and for hyper-specific gameplay mechanics that are incredibly team-limiting and rely on 2 or 3 limited characters to actually function, all while we continually offer less and less new map.
Cool design meant to dye all of them? True. In this video, they said it as well. Like for Genshin doesn't have any like more morally gray characters or morally gray playable characters. For Mormon, they definitely have morally gray characters that is playable, like Milgram or Gothit, if that's his name. Yeah, so I think it's a pretty high possibility that N can be playable, but I don't know because N is pretty long, he's pretty high, but I don't think that's an issue with Mormon. But if he's playable, maybe. I don't know. I still don't know how I'm feeling for N. I just need to play the story quest, continue to play the story quest. You couldn't envision it? Maybe. Maybe he's not going to be playable. I mean, the other Eons, like Tower, is playable. So there might be some possibility. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to this video.
Areas and free wishes each patch. I could go on forever about the state of this fucking game and how Hoyoverse doesn't. I think that's enough of that for now. Let's move on. After all this complaining, people are probably thinking, it sounds like this game is causing you lots of undue stress. Maybe you should just quit and play something else. Look, maybe you don't get what it feels like to invest 5 years of your life into a game like this with
It is true.
expanding lore and new characters being introduced all the time. I guess maybe I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, back in 1.0 when I first started out. It sucks to invest so much of your time into a game only for it to let you down. I'm not gonna pretend that Genshin was perfect back then. There are so many weird, cop-outs that Hoyo pulls so that they can have sensitive themes in their games but not actually have them, like Bennett saying that he has multiple dads only for you to realize that it's because he's been raised by many older men in the Adventurers Guild, not because he has queer parents. But the problems have only gotten worse with time. There are even more cop-outs, like Flynn's being a victim of suicidal ideation, but he actually just went sleepy for a really long time. Or like Nicole, who is mute in name only. She just talks in people's heads using her magic so Hoyo can pretend that they have a character with a disability. Or like Nefer, experiencing racism at the hands of the academia, while having the palest skin you could possibly imagine. Regarding gameplay, as I said, the shill for current characters has only gotten worse with time, with boss enemies made specifically to be defeated by certain limited characters. Fontaine was the first region to introduce region-specific battle mechanics, Bond of Life, and Pneumosia, but it wasn't so completely baked into the combat like Night Soul or Lunar Reactions are. You didn't need Bond of Life or Pneumosia to beat anything in the game, but the Lord of Eroded Primal Fire weekly boss requires a character who can apply Night Soul damage. The Game Before the Gate is built for quick application of the Frozen reaction, which is the specialty of Skirk and Escoffier. It's unfair to people who aren't looking to pull every single character, like me, because I only pull characters I like, or free-to-play people who aren't looking to spend what could easily be hundreds of dollars on filling out their 5-star roster. Also like me, because I don't have that kind of disposable income. Seeing Flynn's in that Nodcry teaser was a lifesaver for me. Holy shit, a beautiful 5-star man with a mysterious backstory who's actually part of the meta, and oh my god, Lowen too. That face card is diabolical. It's been so long.
Okay. Okay, so this is where the part that people are going up against the creator, saying that she's praised Lowen when comparing him to like Linnea. I don't know, for Lowen, I don't know. Lowen does have a very interesting backstory as to where he and his other partner, like his friend from his childhood, tries to save a man from dying because he saved them from a disaster. Well, basically, Lowen and his other friend was going to be used as Dotori's experiments, and then a knight saved them, and then now they're trying to save him from dying. But that's basically his story quest and his character. For Linnea, I do heavily relates to Linnea's story because she portrays as someone who doesn't belong, like she doesn't feel that she belongs to the place that she's living, and so that's why she knows a lot about the world, and she travels a lot, and that's why she has a very tight relationship with her pet. That's for Linnea. And I also cried during her story quest because I relate to her story quest a lot. But yeah, I don't know. For Lowen, similar to like female characters, Lowen is kind of like fan servicey for those type of audience. He has a tendency to like kill people like for joy. Or yeah, in his mechanic, he has like the bar saying the joy bar, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there is both sides of the coin, basically. Mainly, it's like that.
About characters like this. Most of the time now, I'm just like, well, Nicole's not my favorite, but I guess I'll pull for her in the future if I have no other characters I want. Or, well, Lauma's design is pretty terrible, but I like her personality a lot. I guess I could get her if I have enough extra Primo Gems. So yeah, that's a lot of flaws. But guess what, guys? Hoyoverse fucking got me. Almost 6 years ago now, Hoyoverse wormed its way into my brain and put my mind in a Genshin Impact shaped chokehold. At this point, I have so many mixed emotions about this game and its fan base. I love the beautiful...
Okay, mainly, I will stop the video here. Mainly, like, the whole entire video, she brings up a lot of, or they brings up a lot of issues regarding Genshin. And I don't see many of the takes, I don't see that it's wrong specifically. Okay, let's look at the comments. Let's see. Complaining about Linnea's like about cute things and liking Lowen for being sadist is so funny. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I'm not a lore expert. Yeah, baby, we can see that. Okay, people are getting pretty mean. Let's see. The Saritsa and the Fatui are meant to be hunting down Fae and eradicating them. Yeah, I don't know what's the reason
Also,
for
they talk
that.
about how her lore makes no sense because the Sarita and the Fatui are meant to be hunting down Fae.
Hunting down. So, Vision, when look at the Jack Frosts get their element of power from consuming it a lot, most Fae keep their true identity a secret for their own safety. Few know of Flynn's Fae nature, while on the other hand many know about Linnea's. Yeah, I don't know what she's going on for this specifically. Yeah, they don't have any voice line regarding Saritsa being hunting down Fae. Because in the trailer for Snezhnaya, we have the characters that heavenly. We have a girl in Snezhnaya's trailer to have indication that she is a Fae. The one that is in the conscious in the story quest, like in the theater. So she is a Fae. Like she's not hiding anything. So I don't think that they are going out of their way to like getting rid of Fae. Let's see. Calling Linnea a creepy, freaky pedophile for finding Melusine cute, while glazing Lowen, who is drugging his group drinks and being creepy, sadist, is definitely a choice. I think, yeah, true. The fairy girl, yeah, the girl that was like in the middle of the theater, the performer, that was with Ailosha. Ailosha, is that his name? Yeah. She is definitely a fae, a water fae, specifically. Kachina is insecure. Kachina is a child. I hate fan service only when it's not directed to me. Maybe, yeah, it does indicate that she like heavily talks about fan service for the male gaze, but it is a serious issue, and most of the female characters is like that. So yeah, I'm not gonna talk much about that. He's a gorgeous cowboy. He's a vet. Yeah, he's a vet for pets. So yeah. So that's good. So that's what. Oh yeah. They talk about they skip the Natlan crew and only pulled for Aoife because he's a gorgeous cowboy. So yeah. Yeah, the mermaid. Yeah. Yeah, most of the comment is basically comparing her favoritism towards Lowen versus Linnea. Excoffia's Harris being Horn is genuinely such a far reach that came out of nowhere. Is it? Did they talk about Escoffier's hair? For Escoffier, they talk about the silhouettes before Escoffier's release. But yeah, I don't think that her hair is demon-like. Let's see. Calling Navia a slut while thirsting over Lowen? Wait, did she say that? Really? I did not catch that. Okay, let's see. So, they do have an update video on it. Oh my god. Did they like delete some of like most of their video?
Hi. So this is going to be a sort of addendum to my Genshin video. I'm going to do very minimal editing here because I want to get this out relatively quickly. It's already taken long enough. The thing I got the most backlash for by far was my thoughts on Linnea. I definitely want to apologize for the harsh tone I took when talking about her. I wrote that section in an angry state of mind, and I should have edited it to be a bit more objective. I understand that a lot of people think I'm ableist now because of the way that I spoke about a character that people feel is autism coded. Yes, I know that people on the autism spectrum may have a difficult time picking up on social cues or personal space, and that Linnea struggles with both of these. Yes, I know about special interests and that Linnea's has to do with wildlife. I never meant to diminish people with autism, and if I hurt you with my words, I'm so sorry for that. I just want to put my thoughts into a little bit more context. First off, I went to school to become a teacher. I have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education, so I'm familiar with different disabilities and what those look like for students. I knew all of this when I wrote the video. Though I'm not currently a teacher, I work with students at different ability levels regularly at my job. Linnea frustrates me as a representation of the autism spectrum because her portrayal aligns a lot with portrayals of creep or pervert characters in anime. The thing that bothers me especially is the grabby hands that she does in the trailer, which is why I put her on screen with this character from Ace Attorney, who is explicitly supposed to be creepy. That's something specifically I would want to see changed, because to me, it felt ableist to portray her with these predatory mannerisms, when they could have just had her be fascinated with the Melusines without doing stuff like that. This comes down to agency, like I said in the video. Linnea has no control over how she's represented because she's not real. I've literally had college professors hammer into my head that characters are products and reflections of their authors, and that they are not autonomous and should not be discussed as such. It's instead a reflection on Hoyo that they decided to portray her that way. Everything else about her, I guess I could take or leave. So that is what I should have said about Linnea. Again, I'm so sorry if my comments about her hurt anyone. I should have spoken with more tact and not used the harsh words that I did. Similarly, I have gotten lots of accusations of racism because of what I said about Natlan, specifically about thinking a gladiator plotline would have worked better than the canon plot. I think ultimately for me this comes down to war not working as a divine ideal in concept. Which
I know. For Natlan specifically, I think her takes does mention a lot, like, is in line with a lot of like negativity or like criticism regarding Natlan. Because Natlan as a whole, it doesn't sit well with a lot of people, and there are reasons to that, right? Specifically, like Mavrikas. When you mention like the goddess of war, you gotta like portray the characters in your mind as a very hot-headed person or a very like war-driven character. But we got a very like calm and collected Archon, which goes against people like expectations of her. So that's why they have a lot of backlash. It doesn't mean that the character, well, the writing for Natlan does need some fixes here and there. But other than that, I think they're trying to like portray another characters other than like the war heavy, hot-headed person. I think that's what they're trying to do. But yeah, I think, yeah, let's finish the video.
which is something I also said in the video, because gladiators was the first thing that came to mind as a way that an Archon could uphold war, just as the other Archons uphold their ideals. This idea had nothing to do with the race or culture of the characters from Natlan, but I can see how it might have come off that way, and again, I'm sorry for that. A lot of the Natlan stuff, and also the stuff I said about Nefer, must be viewed in a historical context. Like at the end of the last video, I made kind of an offhand comment about how Nefer's plot about receiving discriminatory treatment by the academia kind of falls flat for me, and I realized after seeing a bunch of comments about that too that I should have explained myself more. I wasn't intending to imply that people with pale skin don't experience racism. That's of course something that happens a lot, but Nefer comes from an area in the game where mostly people with tanner skin live, and I know that it's implied that she's not actually from there, but I think the point still stands. In Nefer's story, she gets a chance to study at the academia, but she quickly notices that the assignments that she's been given are easier than her peers. It's obvious from the context clues here that the school sees her as less intelligent because of where she's from. This is based in real life, of course. People of minoritized races, especially black and brown people, have been historically perceived as less intelligent than fair-skinned people. There are countless examples of these groups having their intelligence and humanity undermined through incredibly racist propaganda. It's the fact that they chose Nefer as the character to experience this story out of all the people who live in the desert who have darker skin is what makes it fall flat for me. I don't want the characters I like to experience racism in the game, but if Hoyo is going to try and tackle these themes, I want it to be respectful to the painful history that those themes are inspired by. Even though I'm explaining myself a little more clearly, maybe I'm still wrong. I just wanted to touch on that to make my thoughts more obvious, which I should have done in the original video. I also want to address my discussion of the fan service in the game. No, I do not hate revealing designs in principle, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not attracted to women. There are plenty of revealing designs that I think are really beautiful and well done, and I myself enjoy dressing in cute little outfits, as you can see by the Sona design that I made that everyone hated. Again, it's partly about agency, like I said earlier. I can choose to represent.
I think, okay, did she deserve the hate that she's getting right now? Uh, I don't think so. Like, not to this extent, because I've seen people on Twitter and TikTok talking about this creator, which is insane to say the least. The last time that the fandom has been like talking bad about stuff was Millie Astra Wonderland, right? So seeing all of the hate like going all up against a person is going to be pretty bad.
Present myself how I want, and this design is actually pretty close to how I dress in real life. But I have also had people coming after me for not taking fan service into account when it comes to the male characters because I didn't mention Lowen. First off, I wrote that video before all of that content came out. I basically only knew what he looked like, and I met him in Varka's Quest when I wrote the script, and he had like 3 lines in that quest.
So yeah, I think that's the problem here. She's putting stuff into the video before she gets to know the character well. So that's why she's getting backlash. And the video was released like pretty 2 weeks ago. So I think that's when the time when people has been playing through the story quest already.
Hi. So
Oh.
this imply that people with pale skin don't experience racism.
Where
That's
are we?
The fact that they chose Nefer as the character to experience this more clearly, maybe I'm still wrong. I just wanted to touch on that to make my thoughts more obvious, which I should have done in the original video. I also want to address my discussion of the fan service in the game. No, I do not hate revealing designs in principle.
We've been
and
here
it has
before.
nothing to do with before all of that content came out. I basically
Oh,
only
here we
knew
go.
what he looked like, and I met him in Varka's Quest when I wrote the script, and he had like 3 lines in that quest. The video took a long time to edit, so I couldn't keep up with all of the current content, but I also think it's important to give some more attention to the fan servicey elements of the male characters. Lowen enjoys combat and makes these crazy facial expressions when he fights. A lot of Flynn's dialogue could be interpreted as flirtatious, and even if it's not, his gentlemanly personality is fan servicey.
Oh yeah, they talk about like fan service for female characters towards the MC. Like most of female characters have some kind of relationship with the MC. Like not romantic, but some does implicate that they have romantic like tendencies towards MC. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. For the most obvious one, like for the first time that we've seen it, was Ayaka, right? And the other one that I can think on the top of my head was like Citlali and Columbina. The most disappointing that I've seen was Citlali because I really don't enjoy Citlali's writing as a character. Because recently in the story quest, we have like reunited with Sandrone after she like resurrected herself, and seeing Citlali being jealous that we are talking a long time with Sandrone, it bothers me. Yes. And yeah, I hate that most character, like for example Citlali, being reduced to like just be the MC's love interest. That's what I'm picking up as a character for Citlali. I hope that they kind of averts their way other than that. So hopefully in the future, I'm guessing.
Lenny wears garters and tight.
Oh yeah, for Lenny as well. For the male characters, there are fewer male characters that have like special relationship with the traveler. Mainly like Xiao and Lenny. That's the most like prominent two that I can think of. But yeah, let's continue.
Tights and stuff, and he also gives the traveler a rainbow rose. Goro is a dog boy with a crop top. You can see how it's usually something different with each character, but with the women I feel like it's always the same and very surface level. She has bare legs, therefore she's fan service. She's a tsundere, therefore she's fan service. I don't mind if a character is fan servicey in principle. I actually said in the video that I wish this Coiffier was more like Lowen in terms of presentation because I thought that would have been more interesting. But it gets boring to
Wait,
see
what?
it happen to
Okay.
every new character that they release. It seems like they're more concerned lately with finding not so subtle ways to show more and more skin rather than what would look most interesting or best communicate who the character is. Or instead, they do what they did to Seat Lally recently and just reduce her to a childish simp who gets jealous when the Traveler hangs out with other people. If that's your thing, that's completely fine. We don't have to agree on this. I just find it frustrating knowing that Hoyo can write very interesting characters but decides that writing stuff like this is more important. I didn't think it was misogynistic to point out that the women in the game are treated differently than the men. Quite the opposite, actually. But again, maybe I'm the one who's in the wrong. And no, just because I think a villain is interesting does not mean I defend or condone their actions. Dottore is an interesting villain with interesting motives, but I obviously do not think that anything he did was right. Dottore isn't even one of my favorite characters or anything. There's actually quite a bit I don't like about the way he's written, but people have always liked villains in other media, so I'm a little confused about where that particular criticism is coming from. But I think that's everything I wanted to say regarding the previous video. I also have not been deleting comments as I've been accused by several people. I know you kind of just have to take my word for it, but there are over 7,000 comments on that video now, and a very large amount of them are negative. And that's aside from all the Twitter hate that I'm not looking at because I haven't been on Twitter in years. And just a side note, it's been brought to my attention that someone on Twitter is pretending to be me.
Oh, that's just weird. Okay, that's just the dark side of the Genshin fandom. But anyways.
Genuinely cannot believe it's that serious. So if you see anybody called candybbug on Twitter or TikTok or anywhere else except for Instagram or YouTube, that is not me. I haven't even really been reading comments recently because it's so overwhelming. I promise you, I do not have time to go deleting comments that disagree with me. If your comment disappeared, it could be for one of the reasons that I'm going to put on screen now. So thank you in advance. If your
Wait,
comment
what were the
disappeared, it
comments?
could be
Okay, this is just like YouTube comments or YouTube like procedures.
one of the reasons that I'm going to put on screen now. So thank you in advance for giving me grace with this video. I have other ideas for more lighthearted, non-Genshin videos as I will probably take a break from the game. After all that's happened, I honestly feel like I can't even look at this game the same way anymore. This fandom is so incredibly toxic, and I guess I was stupid to think that they wouldn't jump down my throat at every turn. I'm also confused because some of you seem to think this is like a psyop, like I'm...
Video feel like ChatGPT, I want attention, create me or generate me a Genshin hate video before the new region drops. I would not fact check or research any of the arguments you come up with. I would just trust you on it. Okay. Heard a theory the account is a paid industry plant? Really? To shit on the game before Snezhnaya? Because the video quality while also being their first video on the channel. Yeah, I don't know if this is the first video or they have been like deleting their previous videos, so I don't know.
putting this video out for a reason or getting paid to do it instead of it being a video that's not very good because it's my first one where I wanted to talk about my feelings about a game I liked, or that I wanted to get it out before Snezhnaya so that my points wouldn't lose relevance, and because this game comes out with updates faster than I can keep up with, or because I made it about a popular topic so people get recommended it easier. Not everything is some kind of conspiracy. You can feel free to say how much
the fandom is very
wish was
toxic.
nice or whatever. I'm probably not going to read it, to be honest. I've gotten enough DMs already threatening me with violence. Or
Oh my god. Oh my god, she's showing receipts. Let's see. Brain dead. Something sucker. Your head should be cut off and fed to pig. Okay, this is a very dark side of the fandom. It is a very big fandom. It has both dark side and good sides to the fandom. Let's see. You should kill... Oh god. You should opt yourself. You have the option. Please consider to take it. Okay. Okay. This action is worse than the video itself. I'm getting very weirded out for these actions. I hope you know how much you're getting dragged on Twitter. OC asked looking like Chaska, so you're both equally chopped anyways. Fed your art to AIs and I feel like it's annoyed you. For the art, I don't think I have any issues about it. Because looking at the art, I think it is their own personal art. And for me, I respect artists very much. So dogging people on like other stuff other than like the issues that they are talking about is kind of like mean girl-ish in this type of situations. Acting like I can't find you on white pages. What is white page? I don't know. I know who paid you to make that video. I tapped into the Chinese gaming industry. Just you wait. What? Okay.
Or telling me to kill myself. Hence why if you have tried to message me in the last few days, you haven't been able to. I just wanted to take a moment to clarify some of the stuff in the video that drew the most negative attention and that I wish I did better on looking back. That video was rushed because, like I said, I wanted to get it out.
It is rushed. I think that's the main issue here.
But it took me so long to write and edit it that it probably wasn't even worth it in the end. But either way, I shouldn't have rushed through it, so I'm sorry for that again. I don't know if it will help to make this, but I guess the least I can do is try and amend some things. Thank you again if you've said anything nice or if you've been constructive with your criticism, and I'm sorry my first ever video had to go this way. I'm sorry if your nice comment got buried by all of the negativity. Maybe I'll see you soon for a different topic, but I'm honestly not sure after the way this went. Bye.
Okay, after this video, like after this whole situations, the situation is still ongoing, but I think, does it have to be like this big of an issue? I don't think so. It's just like most of the video, like the original video, has like issues or has like what's a word? Brings up a lot of issues that's going on with the Genshin fandom or the Genshin game as a whole. So most of the take that my camera, hello, I'm dead. Hold on. But yeah, most of the issues that she has touched upon, I agreed with. Not towards the end though. And for Navia, I don't think she has any like malicious comment towards Navia. So I don't know what's going on with that. People has been saying that she talks about Navia in a bad way. I didn't get that. Maybe I'm dull or something, so I didn't quite catch that. But yeah, other than that, for the Linnea and Lowen situations, because they are, as I said in the video, they're rushed. The video is pretty rushed, but that is in and of itself is an issue, and she did own up to her mistake in this video. And I think, yeah, overall, I don't think she deserves that much hate that she's getting. Yeah, I think that's my conclusion for the situations. And yeah, hopefully she kind of like learn from this like whole situations. But yeah. But other than that, should we do some polls on Moorman? Because I do have some polls. And I was hoping that today I have some time left so that I can poll on Pollux's banner. But yeah. Extremists. A very big fandom has its extremists. Are we doing something? Yes. After watching the video, I think she doesn't deserve the hate that she's getting, to be honest. But yeah, so let's change up the mood and let's do some polling, because why not? I've been trying to like resist polling on Pollux's banner because I do want to pull it on stream. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did pull for Corbo for Pontos. She's pretty fun to play, and she is pretty good for Pontos, like obviously. So yeah, let's move our attention to Moorman now, shall we? Once again, let's pause the BGM and let's move to the screen. Hopefully it changed to Mormon. Hopefully, there we go. And can you tell me, can you hear the audio for the game? Can you hear the audio? Sorry? Oh, okay. Not yet? Oh. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Do I have the game capture? It's too little. Okay, let me increase it up a little bit. And let me also increase it in OBS. Let's see, applications, beta, property, Mormon. Okay. There you go. There you go. Can you hear it now? There we go. We have mail. Maintenance? Okay. Okay. Cases? About that remedy I mentioned. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, he's trying to get stronger, right? Oh, you can hear the BGM? Oh. Hold on, okay. Oh, he's blushing! Uh-huh. He's obsessed with being stronger. I do have the BGM on. Why is it not, like, showing? I don't know. Let's see. Let's turn it up to this much. Yeah, still Mormon. Game applications. Let's see. Let's increase it a little bit more. It doesn't seem to capture the sound, but if we are pulling, we can skip through the details. No, I still need the game sound. Let's see. BGM applications. That's a date with death. Okay, hold on. I'm finding it. Mormon game. Where is it? There we go. Let me delete this for now, and let me recapture the audio. There we go. Beta 2, Mormon. There we go. And let's see. Can you hear it now? Oh yeah. So yesterday or 2 days ago, I did convince my friend to play Mormon. Oh, okay. Nice. So yeah, I did convince my friend to play, so that's good. There we go. Now, should we do some pulling? We should. So yeah, I have pulled Haylett. Is that how you pronounce her name? I don't know. But I did pull for her. I haven't leveled her up yet. Does she need her weapon? Part of the community? Yeah. Thankfully, because I show her of the male characters that's in the game. Let's see. But yeah, does she need her weapon? Specifically? Kinda? Okay. Let's see. The wielder's base damage plus 22, hand size plus 1, trigger temporary increased crit damage by 22. Let's see, what is for him? Base crit damage, so crit rate and crit damage. Consume stacks, shields. Oh, this weapon increases shields as well? Oh. Okay. But anyways, let's get the character first and then we'll talk about it later. So I have 2 pity. Let's just pull. 7. Let's faster way because I'm getting tired of looking at the animations, to be honest. Let's see. 17, 27, 37, 47, 57. It's getting quite high.
More 一回自己紹介してほしいって？しょうがないな。私はジェンキン。この子がブラウン。絶対私たちの名前を間違えたら、提灯でお尻ペンペンの刑だからな。
Oh, Jenkin, you sweet, sweet child. I mean, let's continue. So, 20? No. Oh, wait. Earlier I did, like, miscalculate, I think. Oh! Early, I'll take it. Is it Pollux?
もう一回自己紹介してほしいってしょうがないな。私はジェンキン。この子がブラウン。絶対忘れるなよ。私たちの名前を間違えたら、提灯でお尻ペンペンの刑だからな。
ペンペン! Oh! Ho, ho. Oh, ho, ho. Oh my god! Stop! Stop! Ah! Oh! Ho, ho. Oh!
豆苗者の使徒にして白夜に生まれし者、闇を払う青春の巫女ポリュクス。そなたの呼び声に応えこの地に降り立たん。我が闇の力と光の魂をそなたに捧げよう。
I don't feel anything. I guess this is karma from last time, right? Last time I got pretty lucky. So I think this is karma from last time. Man, okay. Because of that, I'm not gonna pull for the weapon. Should I though? Should I not? Should I? Like, if I don't pull for his weapon, almost hard pity. Because yesterday as well, I did pull for Corpo. And I did lose the 50-50 once. This is the first time that I've lost the 50-50 twice. Jesus, it's not even 50-50, no? Man. Maybe you'll be lucky for the weapon, you mean? I don't know. I don't think he likes me. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, it's not 50-50. Wow. I must be really unlucky then. I don't even like you. I like your brother. There, I said it. Man, I think he sensed it. Like, I don't like him as much. That's why he's being bratty. I mean, is this weapon worth it? Let's see. Let's look at the team for him. Let's do, let's replace this one. So, let's see. Let's see if this team works. So we have Pollux, obviously. Clementine. I think I got him in 20... So, good for you. Anyways, Did you got like his constellation, or do you got him like at like base level? Okay, if I use like Saya in the team, I don't know who's the other support that I'm going to use. Cassia? Is Cassia good? Constellations? Ah. Does this team work? I don't know. What does Cassia do again? She's basically a support, right? Okay. Is there any other character that I can play in this team? I think she needs her own team that she can be a DPS. Maybe? I don't know. Every team works until you test it out and see the content you're playing? Okay. Oh, like for example, if you need a healer, you need to slot a healer in? Let's see. She is definitely a DPS, right? Bleed. Oh, she played with Bleed. Ah. But yeah, she's Assault, so she is a DPS. He is also an Assault. Chorus? I think Chorus is like a support. She's also a support. Okay. Do we need a Warden? What does Warden do? Does Warden like act as a sustain? What does Feint do? Hold on. Counter, steal, speed, strength down, and shields. Death resistant. Dispel self-fragile. Oh, okay. Oh wow, so Pontos is a sustain? Wow, in my mind Pontos is a main DPS. But okay. The more you know, the more you know. Oh yeah, I did do the story quest for her. So now I got her, so that's good. Maybe I should level up Jenkin. What does she do? Storm Impact? Okay, she's a DPS, right? Okay. His damage is minuscule until you got his OE. OE, do you mean this one? Really? Am I wrong, or is it the skill? The skill? Honta's damage is pretty small. He's my best performing DPS in this account right now. Okay. Okay. So OE, do you mean the skill one? Pollux, you can play him on E0 to E3. Oh, his Enlighten. Lightbearer's Herald. Strike, Defense generates Alignmus. Sacred Heart plays. Ah. Okay. Let's see. If I like him. Oh, constellations. So he needs constellations. Ah. Okay. So OE is this one. Got it. So what you're saying here is that I need to pull him more. What pity am I at? Oh. Oh wow. Okay. I'll leave it as that for now. E3 plus 4, yeah. Oh, Pontos? Ah. Oh, yeah, Pontos, I've heard that his enlightenment was pretty good, like E3 forwards. I mean, I did got pretty lucky last time. Sure. What? Hello? I mean, at least it's early. At least it's early. What is OE? Okay, what does his OE does? Enlightenment. Hello? Okay. Fixed damage is tripled. Oh. If this secures a kill, additionally generates 1 gaunt. Ah. Ah. So it reduces the skill points that he needs, right? Gains aftershocks. Okay, it does makes him more like more skill point efficient. Maybe? That's what I'm getting at. Okay. How about Corpo? Does Corpo needs any like enlightenment? Watch his assault for basic knowledge. Where can I watch it? Review? Oh. Okay. Okay. But yeah, Corpo is pretty fun. She kind of like provides shields and also like damage. So yeah. His assault is the fixed damage. Ah. Is it this? Yeah, does fixed damage. Does fixed damage, I think they can't crit, right? Fixed damage? Okay. Ah! It's tripled, wow. So that's going to like increase his burst up, or his assault. Ah. Ah, okay. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay. Got it. You.
調子に乗るんじゃねえ。でないといつか足元をすくわれるぜ。
Okay. How many pulls do I have left? 61? That's pretty low. I thought I had a lot. Yesterday I had like 121. So I basically spent 60 pulls right then for Pollux. That's expensive. He's an expensive boy. So that's when you want to play him as a salt? Ah. Okay. The type category is just a suggestion. Okay. I mean, I lose once, so might as well. Like, it doesn't hurt, right? Yeah. That was 10, 15, 20. Okay. I mean, I guess Aunt loves me.
俺様はゴリ当てだ。しっかり覚えとけよ。この名前は人類のちっぽけな歴史を塗り替えるぜ。
So what did we learn, guys? We should not... What's happening today? I lost a total of 4 times. 4! What? You know what? Fuck it. Am I spending all my polls? Yes. And I don't care. Let's go! Is my future self going to regret this? Yes, definitely. Am I happy? Also yes. There we go. I'm just going to stop at E3 for now. But he's E4 though. I think I'm going to continue polling until his banner goes away. I think that's the plan. So yeah. Well, that was eventful. Evermore. Okay, Evermore. Evermore? Where's Evermore? Psyche Deep Dive? Oh, this one. Okay, I haven't finished that yet. Watch in the relay? Watch, what? In the relay again? 61, Connect. Oh, this one? The, Psychic? Deep Dive? I haven't really started it yet. But yeah, I've been slowly trying to like buy out the entire shop. So that's what I've been doing. Let's see. This is going to be for Halith. This is for Pontos and Corpo. And I think, yeah, I'll slowly buy out all of these. Hopefully I have enough. Oh, okay. The Tide. Oh, wait. I have a question. Like, for this one, for the trapeze, do you have to play with like other players? Password battles. Or if you choose like simulated rivals, do you play like with NPCs? Yes? Is there an option that you can only play with NPCs? First battle? Oh. Man, okay, I still can't believe I lost quite a bit of 50-50 today. I'm guessing my luck is, like, has gone out. from the first time. Oh yeah. First battle every day is bot battles? Oh. Okay. I think I'll do it later. Let's see. Oh wait, I do have a schedule in this evening, so I need to go away soon. But my plan, I think right now, is to pull whenever I have the polar for Pontos. And for Pollux, does Pollux needs any constellation? Or he's decent as E0? Sin marks. I need to set up 2 teams because I still don't have like 2 teams for the D zone, or practically multiple teams. But right now, yeah, I think my goal here is to have like 2 teams. He's okay as E0, thank God. I'm not gonna pull him again. I've said it. Oh, where did I set up the teams? Let's set up here. Let's see. Alex, Saya, Clementine. Ideally, I want Caster here. You just have to use more effort to use him as E0. Ah. Okay. Go to detail. Okay. Hold on. Where's detail? This is D zone, so I don't think that's correct. Leaderboard? Ah. Where? Let's see. Leaderboard. Visited. Battle list. This one? Used to be D-tied. Ah. Is it this the leaderboard? Wow. My god, they have a lot of like constellations on these characters. Not this one. Oh. Well, I'm just checking. A lot of like their wait, what is this? Destiny of Wheels. Ah. Wheel of Destiny. Where can you get this? Inflict. Shield for the first time. Oh wait. Ah, so this increases everybody's crit damage. Okay. It's fully welled out. Yeah, I can tell. Oh my god, this is being 100? I've never seen it before. Wow. Otter! I think I missed this when this is released. I think I've seen on the internet saying that this is released when it was April Fool's. Man. Oh, I think this is Daffodil's signature. Maybe, because of the cigarettes? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Let's see. Where's the D-tides again? Can you, like, later on in the Discord, can you tell me where it is? For a goddess, and that was a stupid mistake? Oh.
ミリアムを女神と勘違いするなんざ俺も焼きが回ったもんだ
I've seen a lot of players or a lot of characters have this symbol on their, like, near their neck area. Clicky zone. Ah, leaderboard. Oh. Here it is. Oh, relay? Oh.
好きにご注目を。1、2、3。
No. Exit. Oh wow, their name has like colors. Is this it? Or okay, I'm here at D zone. Magnifying glass. Magnifying glass. Details. Ah, this one. With one extra. With 3. Then find a Pontos. Okay. Here it is. Oh my god, 12. Jesus. Oh, this skin is pretty cute. Is this like a Halloween special? Oh, that's pretty cute. Really? Is he not good with playing the character or what? Okay, he's using this, death resistant. So this Pontos is kind of like a sustained, I think. Let's see, how about this person? With 2, with 2 extra, with 3, okay, no Pontos. Let's see, John. Oh, 10, they're using 10. Okay. Ooh, okay. Oh, you can use I guess? Okay. But it's not advised. There's more than 3 waves. Slide down. Ah, really? Oh, wow. Wow. Extra for 4. So what I'm seeing is, oh, this team is pretty interesting. Like Saya and Salvador. Thais and Saya is kind of like the main supports here, I think. Wow. Oh, okay. Should I level her up? I've seen her like a lot with Pollux and Caster. Wow. Okay. Each wave can clear 2 times. Ah. So that's why they have like extras. Oh wow, they're using the standard teams. That's pretty impressive. Bill, Caster, Pontos. This is another Pontos. What does this Pontos do? Signal yield reduce up to 10. Okay, so this is also a sustained Pontos, right? Crit damage. Draw pile. Okay. I think this is also a support. Maybe. You have to watch how they use a unit in a specific team. Okay, I'll take note of that so that I can like watch them and take note. It's kind of like copying their like team building and stuff, right? Okay, okay. Okay. Oh, is this team kind of like the equivalent to like a dot team? Because I think we have like poison. She also has poison, I think. Yeah, poison, and we have, what is this? Fima. So fire, fire weakness. And he is a sustain. Is this kind of like equivalent to like a dot team? It seems kind of fun. I mean, if I want to, I can build them up because I do have Nymphia kind of leveled up. Wait, this feels very similar. Have I looked at them before? I don't think so. Let's check this person for last. Okay, this is another Pontos. Let's see, let's watch this one. It's a classic Pontos model. Oh.
すべての失われたキャンディーよ。ここにとどまる。
銀の鍵が道を照らさんことを。
参上。すべてのキャンディーは私のものになる運命なのよ。
Oh wait, that's so cute. Her verse line is also like related to like candy. Seeing the boss having like several like K of damage or K of health, kind of scary. Jeez. I can't believe they're still surviving. Okay, I think I'll take note of that. And I think, yeah, I think that's all the time that I have right now. There we go. But I do believe I'm still gonna be pretty overjoyed to like build all of these characters. And hopefully I can progress in the story because right now my level is pretty low. I'm at the team right now, they are ranking me as 45 out of 54. So I'm kind of struggling. Mainly the team I use is this one. So it needs a bit more fixing, but that can be done. Did you get the achievement and the rewards? I think I have. I have been, yeah. I have to use the revive for this one. When I play this one, it's pretty hard. But other than that, I have been getting the achievement, so that's good. And I've been slowly playing through this as well. There we go. Seeing like it not being as high as before is kind of sad. You watch them to learn their logic and their way to play a character, not to copy them. Like mostly to watch to like see how the character like can be used, right? I got it. Okay. Let's claim this. I think I'll continue playing this in the evening when I get back home. But I think that's going to be all for today. Let's see, where's the BGM? BGM, there we go. So, today is pretty interesting. I lost 4 50-50s. No, not 50-50s. I lost 4 while pulling. I lost 4 times. Pretty interesting. I can say this is a first. Have a good day. Thank you. And for the video, I feel like, yeah, she did like own up to her actions, saying that the video was rushed. And overall, does she deserve the hate as much as she does right now? I don't think so. For 33, yeah. Okay, I think I need a cleanse and I need to take a bath. So, let's end here and I'll see you guys maybe next week, to be honest. Because, yeah, I think I will disclose like what's going on in my life by then. So yeah, I'll leave it as that and I'll see you guys next week. Because I don't have much time this week. Maybe tomorrow, who knows? I'll update you guys on it tomorrow or tonight. But that's it going to be for me, and bye. Take care.